Hello, everyone. My name is Tremain Hayhoe. Welcome to tonight. It is Sunday. Actually, it's Monday, the 28th at 1:30 a.m. We just got back from a couple movies. We went to a film festival. Then we saw a movie called Sinners. Tell us about what we did tonight.
Sinners was great. That was amazing.
Okay,
Shout out to
hold on. What did we do first?
Well, before the film festival that we're allowed to talk about.
Look to the we can talk.
Shot an amazing music
video.
No,
I wasn't gonna say music video. Okay, we shot a music video, and then we went to the Sactown Movie Buffs film festival.
Yep. Thank you, Kier. Awesome. Another great time. Great memories from last year, and we saw our good friend Paul Newton's feature out there.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
I told Paul that like it's one of the hardest things to shoot like that right on the edge of darkness, and they did it really well. You know, it's everything was just kind of right at the perfect lighting for the mood and the story and everything. And I liked it.
You liked it?
Good, yeah.
Okay, you liked it.
What'd you think about it? Yeah.
The first movie, Haunted House. Okay, so we saw our friend Paul's movie, Haunted House of Pancakes. Yeah. And then we saw the movie Sinners. We stuck around to see the movie Sinners, which everyone's been hyping up about, talking about Sinners, and had to watch it. Plus, we'd only caught the last 30 minutes of the movie, Paul's movie, which is cool. I'm wearing a pancake shirt, by the way. Nice. Right here to support Paul in Haunted House.
It's got some cool merch.
This isn't his merch. I had to get this on Amazon because the merch on his Indiegogo it wouldn't get here in time. So I had to get it Amazon. But it had to be pancake related, guys. Had to be pancake related. You guys are here. Say what's up. Say hi. Don't be shy. Well, we have So I mean, like what you're saying, it's hard to make a movie, and he's a good writer. I thought the writing was really good. I thought the acting was kind of lacking, and this is something that I would say to Paul to his face. I really feel like the male love interest lead, for example, was not a good actor. I didn't think he was that good. And also, I didn't really buy the love story. But again, we came in 30 minutes before the end of the movie, so it's kind of hard to gauge it, and it's not really fair to give him a full warning. And
really good visual effects, though, for the budget, I would think.
Which, by the way, the budget was 3 times the size of Simp. 3 times the size of Simp. It was a big budget. It's 70 to 80 grand. Yeah. 3 to 4 times the size of Simp. Which, by the way, Simp just came out on Tubi TV. I made a movie called Simp. We make movies here. We don't just review them. And so, he had triple or quadruple the budget of Simp. What is that?
I mean, but still, that is, as they say, that's still a tough challenge to make a film for less than $150,000 these days. It's, I mean, at any budget, there's every $100 million film, so they feel rushed out there, and
which I don't understand, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. If you have $150 million, you're doing something wrong. You can't get.
Thing I've heard about that about Hollywood, those massive budgets, is like you can't buy a bigger explosion after like $50 million. What you buy is time, and it's like it means you can have like an extra couple weeks of everybody showing up and making sure you get the right shots right and everything. And then you also have time in post-production that you're buying that. Like that's $100 million goes for the entire package of that film, and the marketing, distribution, all that stuff. And then somehow they always seem to break even, or like, we haven't made a profit yet, but that's different.
So we watched it, and then we went to the film festival award show, which there was a lot of people. A lot of people got awards.
Yeah, that was Kier's. He deserves a good night's rest after this whole weekend, and he puts a lot of effort into that festival out there. So definitely thank you, Kier, for another awesome weekend and a tribute to Sacramento.
Did you pay for your ticket, Joe?
I did this for the Sinners movie.
We did not pay for your ticket, Kier. So Kier is thanking you, even though he didn't pay for his own.
Yeah. I still thank him for the effort.
I paid for my ticket. No, sorry, Joe. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kier cares. I don't think he cares about that. But
But it was a lot. It brought back a lot of great memories from last year, though.
What happened last year?
Last year there was a movie, a little movie called Simp that was one of the features out there, and that was amazing seeing it on IMAX out there. It was a lot of fun, and I think we did a great job on the promotion side and the marketing and the audience experience in the lobby area. That was fun. Setting up the balloons and the little photo booth and with the actors, and yeah.
Was there that tonight?
You know, we did get there towards the end of it, and it was.
That's true. Yeah, we got there.
Saturday was the big day with all the short movies and short music videos.
Well, there's short films both days. There's only one feature film per day. Actually, there's only 2 feature films, 2 total in the whole festival. Yeah, there's 43 shorts and one feature film Saturday, 1 feature film Sunday.
Huh. I'm you got me hooked on the film festival experience though, because it's such a great way of networking and meeting everybody else who's like just finished a project or starting a project, and it's just I won't say what my tagline that I usually say.
What is it?
Well, you don't want to get demonetized.
Oh, okay. Oh,
but let's say that it's just a lot of great films.
A lot of awards.
A lot of awards. A lot of hard work.
There were a lot of awards this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people got a lot of awards. Okay. Well, okay. Going back to all right. So we watched that, and I enjoyed. We got to watch the rest. Do you need to blow your nose or something?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Let me get on a napkin or something.
Here.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So
fix that in post. Anyways,
we're live.
We're good to go.
So, all right. Then we saw the movie Sinners.
Sinners was amazing, and thank you for bringing that up, recommending that, because I had not seen a trailer for it. I didn't know. Yeah, totally unexpected. And we got in there about like 10 minutes after it started.
3 minutes, according to the guy.
So 3 minutes.
He said 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
3 minutes was enough to like not know what the hell is going on for like.
But the movie lasted a long time after that.
Yeah.
To figure it out. So, what was Sinners about, Joe?
Well, it's
Explain
about
to the people in the audience.
Do we have to say spoiler alerts on the?
Well, don't spoil it. Just say what it's about.
Well,
everyone that's seen the trailer knows there's vampires in it.
Did they? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I still haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it is. It's kind of From Dusk Till Dawn meets The Great Gatsby. It's a vampire story in the 1930s and like Great Depression era, but like certain. Oh, and actually, maybe it was Jim Crow era. It was like maybe 1920s or something. There's.
I think that's 40s or 50s. I think it's later than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The setting, it really felt like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou kind of.
Yeah.
So it was like, it felt like Great Depression.
The sets were really cool. Like the location visuals were really cool.
God, it looks beautiful.
The land, that was really cool. It was cool living in that world. I really love the first like 30 minutes of the movie. I thought it was really cool. We're living in this kind of world, and these 2 twins come in. They've got a ton of money, and they're like, it's been this souvenir, man. It's been here, see, And they're like, "Her little cousin."
I thought it was going to be something. It felt like Goodfellas in the 1930s. I thought the story was these 2 kind of gangsters that are kind of, and no one's going to rip off. No one's going to try and steal stuff out of his truck. So he's got to send a message, and like it's kind of like Godfather kind of thing. But then and then it had this like moved into this. He plays the guitar, and he's
the cousin or the little cousin.
Yeah. They want to get this
preacher boy. I'm a preacher boy. I play the
band together.
Guitar. That's what I do. Is I play some guitar.
Yeah. And go to the juke house.
So how would you summarize the movie? How would you not summarize it? How would you describe the movie in 1 sentence or less, or two sentences or less?
It's like retro classic vampire hunter. It's a fun ride.
Exactly. You can't describe it. That's my problem. That's my problem. The movie
it
was
mixes
good
too much?
until it jumps the shark. The movie jumped the shark.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
It completely jumped the shark. It was something where it had me really well. It had me with the characters. It had me with the storyline. Then all of a sudden, it's just like, all right.
They did a really good job. Like, I mean, building up these characters as real characters, and then it goes in this supernatural thing, and it's like, oh, okay, well, then reality doesn't.
Yeah, the supernatural thing for me was just because it went so far out there.
Yeah.
There's a scene where I guess it might be spoiler or not.
Yeah. If some of the characters are.
Maybe we can wrap it up. So you we can talk.
I
about
loved it. I
loved it.
Really, yeah. I think.
What would you give it out of 5?
5, definitely 4.5.
Wow.
I would say better than From Dusk Till Dawn, which is high praise.
I've never seen that.
You haven't seen
I still haven't seen
Dawn.
I give it a 3 out of 5.
Really? Yeah.
Solid 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay. Michael B. Jordan. Here, let's talk about him. Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. I'm always toying with it. He's like in between a really good actor and a really not terrible. Like he's a good actor at good times, and other times he's like, this guy's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of like I was 50-50 throughout the whole time. And then when they were like he plays 2 characters, I didn't buy that. I felt like he's the same character. They were like the same person, but you know, I just didn't see enough of a difference in both the characters to really care about, you know. Well, there's Smoke, and then what was it?
It was Stacks
and Smokes.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you know, why do you care about these people? Then they're like, oh yeah, you're backing down now. I wait for you for not a year now. Yeah, it's like. Okay, why do we care? You know, he has all this money. He's paying off everyone.
Yeah.
And then, like, it was really good. And then there's the party. And then the rest of the movie is the party.
Yeah. I thought I thought we were going to see 2 hours of, like, them, you know, building their career as musicians in a band and going on shows and being successful. And then it turned into... a vampire.
There was a lot of like really unnecessary stuff, and I was kind of like, this isn't how people talked back in those days, because there's some like really dirty talk, you know.
It was pretty graphic.
It was really graphic. It was like really dirty, and it was really like everything was black and white, so to speak. No pun intended, but it really was. I mean, and I don't feel like it was that way back in the day. It was almost like a imagined.
I don't know.
Way
I'd
the vampires.
I'd say there's scenes that like I don't know if they're just going for like kind of shock and awe of like that's.
Well, I think that's what they were trying to do.
They knew they were already going to get there's no way they're not going to get an R rating with the last half of the movie. So they thought like the first half of the movie, let's do instead of violence, let's have a bunch of sex in the first part of the movie.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah.
So let's go. You know. They're gonna kind of, and that's and that, you can think of it, there was scenes that seemed to like kind of drag on for too long. Like, why are they keep going back to the characters? The guy's pays with the wooden nickels, and it's like he has a conversation with the 2 people that did that. While other stuff is happening, like you think they're running a business here. It's like you can tell them once and then like get back
right. Yeah.
Like let's pull them out of that party.
Yeah. And it goes back. It goes to another scene. And then it comes back and I was like, well, this ain't business.
Yeah.
So how we do business.
Right.
And they're like, well, he paid that wooden nickels. He works hard for those wooden nickels.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, but that ain't business. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like you would say right away, hey, why did you take a wooden nickel for money? Which, by the way, I've got one right here. A wooden nickel right here. Look at this. And it's like why you accept that? But his brother is more of accepting, like, hey, this guy worked hard.
Yeah,
those wooden nickels are worth something. You can go to the store, you can actually get something for it.
Yeah,
he's more forgiving, but Mr. Smoke wasn't. There's little stuff like that where it was just they made a big deal out of nothing, and then it amounted to nothing, and then there was a point where it felt like the whole party was done.
Yeah,
and then they had the visitors, and they came back, and all of a sudden the party was popping, and then again, and then they came back, and they're like, wait, they're like, turn the music back on, like someone play the music, and they're like, wait, So it was like there were so many inconsistencies with this movie.
It definitely like it took a turn of like you leaned over and said, what the hell are we watching? Or it was like well, I joked when it was kind of over the top 1930s kind of stuff, like, oh, this could be set in the future. Like, turns out,
yeah. Okay. So we said kind of our ratings. Let's get into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, if you haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie, then come back. Or if you haven't watched the movie and don't really care about it, then keep tuning in. So this scene really threw me off.
Yeah.
So at the party, all of a sudden now there's people from like today, like
there's a guy with an electric guitar that fans. There's a guy with a vinyl disc,
There's a girl
player.
twerking. All of a sudden now she's twerking in the kitchen.
Which, by the way, that scene I thought it was really great. The mix.
Of course, you like that scene. Yeah.
No, I mean that's the Great Gatsby kind of like revision. Like kind of updating that, like mixing the.
Well, the way they did that though, I mean, they had the music, but they didn't have Leonardo DiCaprio and like riding a hoverboard and try. You know what I mean? It's like they really they changed the costumes for these characters. They changed.
It did throw it off though.
Like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it came out completely out of nowhere, and then nothing ever happened again.
Yeah, it turned the movie into a music video for like 8 minutes. It's like that scene, and then it kind of
which had nothing to do with anything. We could have just not had that scene.
That's true. That's
right. Isn't it? Yeah. So I'm like, I was really enjoying it. I'm, having a good time. I love going to the movies and everything.
Yeah.
You're living in this.
You really need to see that like with good sound though, because that on the big.
Well, it was great. Yeah, we saw it in IMAX, but it was really interesting because every single time they showed the vampires, then it became the big screen. They showed the white people, the white vampires. Of course, the white people are the vampires.
Yeah.
Right. That's how it works, I guess. And then they come out and they're like, oh yeah, I don't know, like all the white people were racist, but then like all the black people were like, yeah, honky crackers. Or like, I don't know. It was weird. I feel like it was kind of odd because I'm watching this and I don't know. It felt kind of really forced. The whole it was like not only a race thing, but then it was like vampires on top of that. But I understand the race thing. Obviously, like the race is a huge thing.
Jim Crow era was, in the South, and it was like it definitely as if like
but then there's like that
From Dusk Till Dawn was like we've all anyone who's been to like a seedy bar or something like that, think like that's there's gotta be like there's a dark side to that. There's like something that's and then it like turned out that was a pure evil, like run by vampires or something. This is like there's such a hatred in America at that time, and that was rooted in like it kind of made this connection. I don't know. I mean, again, we missed the first 3 minutes.
You had me, and then you lost. Again, it was something, and then like you think it wraps, and then a whole nother storyline happens.
Yeah.
As well. Right. Like goes, and now we're back on the ranch. He's here.
Oh yeah.
But then it does a bunch of flashbacks, and then it flashes forward.
Yeah, the flashbacks were. Yeah, I thought it was pretty well done on the like keeps reminding you of like what they
keeps reminding you because
it
did so many things that are happening. It's like, hey, dipshits, I don't know. I feel like it tried so I don't know. It had a really good core to it. Like it had something going for it, and I was all on board. I was
like the musician story.
The musician story is cool, but he's like I'm the cousin. He's like, come on, guys. Like I'm just like trying to play my music. Like that got old out for a while. His voice, but I mean, his plot line was cool, right? He can play the music, and then, but then you're not really. You see, I guess we missed the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, I wish I'd.
But the thing is, all it was like the twins talking as gangsters, and then they're like, "Oh, we're deciding to go back to hometown from it's been 7 or 8 years or whatever." And you're just kind of thrown into this, but you're like, "Well, why are these guys so hated?" I don't know, because he shot a guy in the ship.
Well, they think he's. I'm thinking that he spent time in Chicago at the time, which is like was a pretty crime heavy area, and so they thought like all his money is dirty and
which it was. Well, he said like you're a bank robber, you're a burglar. Yeah, I don't know if you missed that, but like that's how they have so much money is they rob banks.
Oh,
that's.
But they want him. They're gonna. This is where their chance to kind of like, I guess, make it. Just,
like what were their motivations? Like what were they trying to do?
Yeah. Another thing one thing we missed was why they had bought the juke house. Is they apparently bought it from, or there was some Klan members that were threatening that. It had kind of Quentin Tarantino film, like what he did with the Nazis with.
Yeah, it was kind of like a fan fiction type fantasy where you wish that this actually could have happened versus what actually happened type thing. Yeah, I mean, look, like it was an original movie. It was original. I'll give it that. It wasn't just another Marvel movie. I'm not going to say it was this huge masterpiece that I loved. I mean, I was almost, I was. After a while, I'm like, all right, let's just wrap it up. I mean, it's getting pointless here.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it got really pointless the past. Like the last 45 minutes.
I mean, From Dusk Till Dawn was someone who was a criminal, and George Clooney's a criminal on the road, on the run with his brother, and they're looking for that, find that bar to hide out for the night, so they can continue on to Mexico and be free with the money they stole. And in that bar, I don't know if he really doesn't find redemption or anything. So yeah, this would be different than that storyline. But it's
very similar.
Yeah, there's some.
But okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal with the vampires. Here's the deal with the vampires. Okay, so there's a scene where the white vampires are attacking black people. And everything's getting shit's hitting the fan. Everything's been
the river dance.
The whole night. Yeah, the river dance came out of nowhere. Yeah. So a vampire river dance singing, he's doing a river dance. And they're all outside, right? They're all outside. And guess what happens?
The
sun comes up.
Oh, yeah.
You're a vampire.
That's going to happen in every vampire movie.
You're a vampire. The second the sun comes up, don't you think you have one job, and it's to stay the hell out of the sun, which is my job too. I feel like a vampire, but like your one job, it's like if you're outside and it's almost daylight, what the fuck are you doing? Because you're gonna die. And guess what happens? All the vampires are outside. They're waiting too long. They're like, yeah. Like, how stupid is that? That is so stupid. I'm sorry. Like the characters. So vampires who live thousands of years.
Yeah.
Hundreds of the years, thousands of years. Oh, so for one night, now they're distracted
time.
Because they're doing a river dance outside. Give me a break, right? They would all have crazy clocks. They would be like, hey, you, why don't you get up out there? You need to get up inside. What are you doing outside? Like, they wouldn't do that. That's how it was. The second you think about this movie, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Wait a second. They would never be outside.
That's why at least they should make a vampire movie in a casino with no clocks on the walls, and you don't know what time it is.
Right.
That'd be fun.
That's a good idea. See that? No, that's a good idea. No, that's funny. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it's 6 p.m. Like, oh, okay. It's dark outside.
Like you said, the vampire like in Alaska or like an Arctic Circle where it's dark for a month.
Right. Yeah. Okay. See, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Right. Like if it's dark for a month, they're vampires, and then they forget that it's day 30. Okay, they lose track of the days, and then they forget that it's day 30, and then the sun comes up and they die. Okay, that makes sense because you lose track of the day, not just one day, because you can always sense that. Oh wait, the sun's gonna come up. They would be scattering so quick. Yeah. And the things, my big thing was they weren't even trying to go back inside. They were all just standing outside blatantly, and they were just like,
yeah.
Just standing there waiting for the sun to go up, and then they all die, and then it's like, okay, flash forward to later.
Yeah, that was really that was another throw up like 1992.
Yeah, then they go 30 or 80, 70 years later, 80 years later, whatever it was. And he's wearing it became a bit hokey. That's a bit hokey, right? That's a bit.
I thought that was clever. Of like, if that was like the story of of an actual like blues singer that like would say that like, oh, he fought vampires when he was young, and like this is somebody actually like, oh, what if he did fight vampires? Maybe that is the story how he got those scars, and it's like, and
I don't know how I got these scars. Well,
I thought the cut
that could have been interesting if it started. Maybe because we missed the first 3 minutes. Yeah, right. But if it started with him and his scars, like, oh, Gramps, how do your scars form? Then it's flashback. You know,
kind of Saving Private Ryan, kind of.
Yeah, so I mean that could have worked, maybe. But the thing is, it went so far out there for me that it was just.
They spent a lot of time building up those characters. Like the vampire stuff happens almost halfway into the movie, the supernatural stuff, and then they still had to do the whole ending thing, and like they have to resolve it by like, you know, it's almost like Act 3, and it becomes to supernatural. Act 1 and 2, 1 he's a badass, and then 2, you know, like, oh, okay, they're changing and like turn over, like they'll start this concert, and then a little bit more there, and then it's like, oh, well, no, actually that makes sense then. 4 act, and then set up conflict.
3 act.
The 3 act narrative.
Yeah.
Set up conflict narrative.
Well, I guess technically 4. You go. You do the denouement. They had the denouement at the end where they continue. Okay, you see what happened with these characters, and then they continue it. But yeah, I mean, I'm just like, what was? I'm halfway through. I'm like, what is the point of this film? Like, what is the point? I mean, what are these characters' motivations? They're gangsters. Well, what are they trying to do?
Yeah, it's clearly. I mean, they already had made for a success with a bunch of money thrown around, but I thought you mentioned like he's now trying to like help the people around him, you know, kind of bring everybody up with this kind of like, well, he's trying to make him money. He's saying to his brother, he's gonna like, oh, we're gonna make so much money with your music out there. Then he recruits Delroy Lindo, he was great.
That guy was great. Yeah, is that his name? Yeah, that guy was the best part of the whole movie. He was electrifying. I mean, that guy was awesome.
Yeah, he still got it.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a great character actor. That guy, he made it. And look, like there were some good performances. I mean, I thought the lead Irish guy was a pretty good performer.
Oh yeah,
when he did the river dance and stuff.
Yeah. I thought the vampire effect was really well done.
I like the laser eyes. Yeah. The laser eyes happened. That was cool. Yeah. Like I don't want to hit on it too. I mean, it was cool. It's an original type ripoff from Dusk Till Dawn. But I mean, it was kind of cool to live in that world. But it got to the point where it was like it was going off so far off the deep end. I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to this ending. Can this end? And then it ended. I thought it ended.
It ended, and it kept on.
They go in for like 20-30 minutes, and then there's credit scenes. By the way, there's credit scenes afterwards, guys. So there's after credit scene.
Yeah. We didn't stay till after the after credits.
You're right. Yeah. I'm like, all right. I think we're done from there. But I mean, I don't know. I'm again. I see that Michael B. Jordan has a lot of, he has acting chops. He's got the look, but there's something missing with him. What is missing that I'm like?
You think like, I mean, he does angry really well. Like he can do like that kind of intense kind of, can you do like the sympathetic and, well, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think he could do angry because he wasn't really angry the whole movie. He was more like
he's kind of the
manipulative or
tough guy.
But I mean, it still even felt like he was it felt like he was having a good time and he was having fun, but it didn't seem like he was really that character. It seemed like him playing a character.
Did you see Creed?
I did. Yeah.
I saw the first 2. I haven't seen the third one. But
what did you think of it?
I thought that was a really interesting. Like the first one was great. It was a really good original take on the Rocky series. I love the Rocky series. And second one, I was excited to see that because they were going to bring back Drago and his story. But then it turned out he was kind of, his story was, of course, it had to be like really sad and it's like because he goes back and he's like a failure and to the Russian people. It's like he's like kind of in between, and then they just leave him there. So like let's kick him while he's down a little more, kind of thing. But Then I didn't see the third one. Did they bring back Mr. T in the third one?
I never saw the third one.
Yeah.
Actually, I never saw the second one. I saw the first one.
Yeah.
It was all right. Yeah, I mean, I like Rocky and everything, but I'm 50-50 with this guy because I'm like, okay, he's a good actor. He's got a good look about him.
He's athletic. He could do the action.
Yeah, but he's not. He's trying to go for the Tom Hardy type role.
Oh yeah,
and he's not Tom Hardy. Yeah, is the thing. You know what I mean? Like Tom Hardy's played twins in that movie, the gangster movie. I'm trying to blank on it. But he played that movie so well, and those are two completely different characters. And you look at like they're different people. For Michael B. Jordan in this movie, I feel like he was just him. He just had a different outfit on, and it's the same character. I never once felt like, oh, this is one character, this is the other. Did you feel like that? Did you feel like they were?
Was he playing both characters? I guess I must have missed that part. Yes. Wait, he was playing his brother.
He played his brother as well. It's the same person who played his brother. Wow, so he fooled you.
That was he
fooled you. Wow, he fooled Joe.
That's pretty good.
So you thought he was good?
I thought, God, I must have been
really high,
trying to
and on drugs.
Still, he's a rising star. So I'm glad he was part of the.
He gets the Rising Star Award. Him and 50 other people.
That was still part of it. Sactown Movie Buffs Festival was still going on. That's the ending. Sinners was the
last entry. Yeah. No.
But that movie has also been doing pretty well in the box office. It's been out for like 2 weeks, and now it's up $160 million. It's the 7th highest grossing movie in 2025.
Really?
So it's
not bad. No, that's good.
$100 million budget.
Wow,
which is
$100 million.
Refreshing.
Dang, that is refreshing.
It's
$100 million.
like
I would love $100 million.
Or so.
How is $100 million refreshing? It's refreshing if I had that budget. That
it's
would be
crazy because like Snow White, which everybody
Did you see?
I haven't seen it. But
you probably like Snow White.
I just the story was the Disney version apparently is really watered down from the original.
Oh really? What happens in the original?
Sleeping Beauty. One of maybe
or Cinderella. I know Cinderella.
Is it Cinderella's?
Her feet were like binded and cracking and yeah.
There was
they all kind of came from Brothers Grimm.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot. That's but the Snow White movie was $250 million. Wow. It's still this is an example. Like even $100 million, they can make a better movie than.
How do you spend $250 million?
How do you spend?
I can make 100.
It's like, did they have?
I can make 100 better movies than this movie with $1 million each.
That's
I can.
Someone gave you $100 million to spend.
I would make 100 movies.
Make 100 movies
for $1 million each. Yeah. You kidding me? Yeah, and then it'll be game over. Are you joking? Yeah. I mean, look, like they spent all this money on this movie, and and people are high praising it, and I'm like, I was skeptical before any high praise at all. Well, maybe because I'm just not into vampires. I'm not a big vampire movie guy, and again, I feel like I've seen this movie before. I've seen people hold off a barnyard or whatever. Oh no, the outsiders are coming in, and you have to last through the night. I've seen that before.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse, and it's fine. I mean, but I was more interested in the characters than the first 30 minutes where that was going to go. Yeah, with the town versus like they could have gone so many different ways, other than hey, they're all locked in a barn, and then the evil guys are going to come out.
Those could have been two completely separate movies
on their own. It felt completely separate. I'm like, there was a point where it just went complete 180. Yeah. I'm like, what?
And that's dangerous to do like in on any kind of media because like I gotta say people that with YouTube you pick a topic and you grow an audience, but then if you think like oh well people like Minecraft and cars. So I'm gonna make.
Well, it would be like halfway through this movie review, we start saying like, "Oh, let's talk about floral arrangements," and "Oh, this is what we need to do to make pottery." It's people like, "What? Like, what? What did you?"
Well, there's all the people that like vampires, and all the people that like the the realism of like a kind of a almost like a not a documentary, but like that the drama of that era, and it's then they mix the two, and they're not capturing both audiences. They're capturing the sliver of people that like both of them, which I don't mind. I like the vampire stories and stuff like that. And Anne Rice is I definitely
Who's Anne Rice?
The Interview with the Vampire and
I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah, she wrote all those and she hated them. She was against the movie version of it, but
oh wow.
But then so it worked for me, but I think it was jarring that it's like, oh, the movie's going that direction. Okay.
Yeah, it was almost because going back to what I was saying, like the first 30 minutes, I was really down for it. I mean, it was funny, it was cool. It was.
Maybe if I knew it was a vampire movie going,
it might have changed. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Well, that's kind of cool. Most of the time, I like to kind of have no idea. I would rather have no idea than to have some preconceived notion.
Yeah, that's true. You said yourself. There's a lot of times the trailer gives away way too much.
Yeah, I've stopped watching trailers. If I see a trailer's 3 minutes long, I don't watch it because I'm like, they're gonna give away all the parts of the movie. But if it's like 1 minute long, I'll watch it. If it's a teaser trailer, a minute and a half, oh yeah, I'll watch it. I'll look forward to it.
It's almost like a short film. Some like
5. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah, 10. Yeah, or yeah. What was the movie they said? They're like, oh, we gave you the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, the sneak preview.
Yeah, the sneak preview.
The Tenet did that.
Right did they really?
Right before the pandemic, it was attached to some other IMAX movie at the time, and you got to sneak like the first 10 minutes, the opera heist scene, and then the pandemic hit, and then couldn't go to theaters.
Couldn't go see anything anyway. I ended up watching that at the drive-ins by myself.
Yeah,
by myself.
I saw it too.
Kind of really sad. By yourself?
No, my brother and his family.
Oh, okay. That's
but still, it was kind of on the crappy sound system and like.
Oh well, yeah.
Feet away. I'd love to see that movie on IMAX, but.
Well, people are like, "Oh, I couldn't hear everything." It's like that was kind of the point because people are yelling. There's a lot of crazy explosions happening. That's how it would work. You wouldn't be able to hear everyone at every time.
It was funny. Trailers, they call them trailers because they used to be at the end of the movies. You didn't see them the coming attractions. It was like you see the movie, and then at the end, there's a trailer package on the end, which is next week's.
That would actually make more sense because it would be more fresh in your memory.
Yeah,
than the beginning. I mean, but it is kind of cool having trailers at the beginning where you're prepping the movie. Oh, this movie looks good. This movie looks good. But that's what's so genius about movies is hey, you have a trailer like, hey, watch the next movie that I made while you're watching this movie that I made, and it's like the next one and then the trailer, this sets up for a sequel. Center sets up for a sequel. They want it to be a sequel in the 90s now, I guess, right? And they'll probably make one because it made so much money. Yeah, guaranteed they'll make a sequel because Coogler made Black Panther 2.
Oh, okay.
And Black Panther obviously it's Marvel, so they're going to do sequels out the yang. But so this director, I mean, look, it was an interesting story, and it wasn't, it was a breath of fresh air in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well edited. I mean, that's
well, yeah, of course. If you have $100 million, it better be well edited. It better be well shot. Better be well better have good set design. They had really cool. It's really cool seeing the old school cars. Like the steering wheel was like this. He's like driving like this. That was cool seeing. I like that stuff. But I'm just like my cat wants to get in. But it just I don't know. I felt like they were trying so hard to make it something that it's better than what it really is. And at the end of the day, it's a vampire movie.
Yeah.
It's a vampire movie. And it's
should have started with the vampire. Like you said, a little bit of a
have some type of undertones, right? And then if Smoke comes to town and he's like, I'm back, wow, Smoke, what's going on? He's like, I heard you guys had a problem in this town. You know what I mean? If you said like, I heard you had a problem, they're like, well, yeah, can you help us? Even like that, as subtle as that is, I heard you had a problem in this town. and it eludes because it just came up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like a left field ball where you're watching a baseball game and you're at the 5th inning and all of a sudden they're like, well, we're gonna throw this into a basketball hoop and it's a basketball game now. It's like, what? Like what? This is not what I signed up for. But if they alluded to it earlier, right? Or if they were vampire hunters or something like that.
Yeah, if they've seen this before, it's the signs. I thought it was kind of cool. They had the kind of witch doctor voodoo master at it. Like
she didn't do anything, by the way.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. But
what did she do?
She was kind of like the guide of like okay, there's some rules here. This is how we kill them. This is what they're vulnerable with. This is.
Here, eat all this garlic.
They needed they're like
that's either like eat this garlic. The one girl's like, I don't want to eat the garlic. They're like, well, she's one of them.
Right. I think that was kind of reminded me of did you ever see the remake of the 1980s version of The Thing, John Carpenter's?
Yes.
Where they're gonna cut themselves to the alien, the infected, or they don't want to harm themselves or something like that. Or no, they get a sample of blood. And then the thing that exists is like inside the blood, so he's gonna burn it with like a torch or something like that, and see how the person reacts. Well, that's another spoiler for that. But that kind of brought me back to that. There was some tense moments. I thought like the reactions going around that was pretty well done.
Wow.
On it, but too generic kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it was
kind of no surprise. You could see like, okay, well, maybe one of them is gonna react.
Well, it wasn't even that. It got to a point where I'm like, well, why do I care?
Yeah.
Like, why do I care? What are these characters' motive? What are they trying to accomplish here? And then why? So the white vampires were, I guess their motivation is to come in and make everyone else a vampire.
But they had to be invited in, and that was another.
Like
all they had to do was just not invite them, and they're safe.
You're a freaking vampire. You're a vampire. Just bite them.
That's But they could have just stayed safe the whole night.
They're like, why don't you let us in? They're like, oh, we got money to spend. We can play the tunes. They're like, sorry, sir, can't come in. You're like, well, I wish I can come in. They're like, sorry, sir.
They just close the door.
You're right. That's how you keep the vampires away. You just close the door. But as soon as you step out towards the vampires that are in the bushes outside, that's when you get in trouble. But then you can come back and then fight. It's like the more you think about it, right, Joe? The more you think about this movie, it's like
there must have been something. Was it something special about that house? Or that there used to be a church or something like that. But then and also we missed whatever the story was. He was kept on holding that guitar. That guitar was so special for him. Never let go of that guitar. But I appreciate letting me know that it's the same actor. Always good to know.
Newsflash. Yeah, he played both roles. I mean, it was cool though the way they did it because it didn't at least stand out. And if you fool Joe, I mean, wow, that's like the gold.
Yeah, that's
yeah, like Michael Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan is. I'm just gonna call him Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. I mean, he's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
But there's times where he's not a good actor, right? So, but it's 50-50. Some of the lines where he's good, he's charming, he deliver it well. Other times, he's like rushing this thing.
So I think he's the tough guy all the time on it, and it's not the sympathetic like.
It wasn't even the sympathy though. I'm just talking about delivery. I'm just talking about acting. I'm just talking about how he comes off to an audience where I'm like with him half the time. And the other half, I'm like, is he joke? Is this a joke? Is he rehearsing? I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Would you recommend the movie?
I do recommend watching it.
Yeah. On IMAX?
But, okay, there were some really inappropriate things.
It's not a family film.
Not a family film.
Yeah.
It's not even, I wouldn't even, it's definitely a hard R, I would say. And the thing is, I don't know, it became, it had so many unnecessary sex scenes. There were a lot of lines in there that was like, dude, this guy's like,
yeah, it got dirty on the.
he got really dirty. This
the
guy's like
dock.
forcing all this dirty stuff into a
Yeah.
movie about the 1930s or 40s,
Yeah.
where I don't think it was quite like that. Maybe there
Yeah.
was behind closed
That's
doors.
that's what I thought.
But there were certain words that they were saying that I was like, I don't think that they would say that.
Yeah.
Then. You know, I didn't feel like it was accurate.
Yeah. I was thinking I thought it was refreshing that they put that in there for that time because it kind of like a lot of we're kind of built on like all the other movies were like that time was kind of very formal and well spoken kind of thing, and this is kind of taking this like saying like no, there was some real I don't know, yeah, it didn't feel like 1930s conversations.
No.
So but and that's where I thought like it just feels like maybe
Right, you said
future or something like
that.
that.
And I was seeing like, well, what is he smoking? But then there was that scene. I'm like, oh wait, maybe it is in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was kind of waiting for that to have an M. Night Shyamalan twist where like they're all in a bubble. They're in like some commune bubble of glass, right? And then it's like there's flying cars flying around, everywhere else. But they've just been talking like they're, that's not above and beyond the scope of what would have happened in this movie, right? Like, if that were to happen, you'd be like, all right, well, yeah, that,
of course,
of course that happened. Yeah, because it just took that complete 180. Again, it's hard to, I don't want to just feel like I'm knocking the filmmaker. I think a 3 out of 5, it definitely is a solid score. Yeah. It was worth watching. I recommend seeing it. We saw it in IMAX.
Yeah. Well, do you feel like it has to be seen in IMAX? Yeah. No. It was amazing to watch with super shallow depth of field.
That's what I wanted today in the music video. I wanted more shallow. I wanted that shallow.
Shallow depth of field is tough to work with when people are moving around.
Moving around had nothing to do with it, but I'm just saying.
Standard, a lot of films are shot like they stop it down to like if they use lenses that can open up to f1.4 or these T-stops on those, but like they'll stop it down to 2.8 because it's easier or if big budget stuff, they have focus pullers and all that stuff. But yeah, no, working with I can't imagine how hard it would be to like. I feel like they missed focus on a lot of some of those IMAX shot scenes.
Well, I thought the IMAX shots that like things
really blown out.
They were great though. I like that because it looked the crispest and the cleanest. Because we go to an IMAX screen that is one of a handful of actual 70 millimeter projected screens. So it's projecting 70 millimeter film.
It's good. It was shot on film too.
Yes, it was shot on the IMAX, and they're touting it the whole way. But there's the caveat. Because they did not shoot the whole movie on 70 millimeter IMAX screen, or else the whole movie would have been the full square the whole time.
Right.
Instead, it was a widescreen view.
Yeah,
most of the movie. Then there's a couple scenes where they show the full frame, and it just happened to be all the vampire scenes, like all the vampire scenes. Oh, now all of a sudden it goes full frame. When it did, it was cool. Like that was really cool. Dark Knight does the same thing. Every single IMAX movie does this. So I'm like, why can't you just have an IMAX movie where you have the whole screen filled up the whole time? The problem is the cameras are freaking huge.
They're huge. They're very loud.
They're huge. They're loud. They're super expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't blame these guys for only
using the action parts. Yeah.
There were action parts where there's the sunset scene. There's like the sunset shot, which looks beautiful. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like I personally think IMAX is completely overrated.
Yep.
It's completely it's a gimmick at this point. Where you can shoot a film in super high quality digital and have the full frame there and not have this huge, cumbersome, loud camera that's going to get in the way for your actor's performance. Like, how the heck, if you watch any of the, like, either Dark Knight or Oppenheimer behind the scenes, you see this, like, camera, it's like, and, like trying to film a dialogue scene, so you have to ADR everything. So you have to record everything afterwards, regardless. I don't know. To me, I'm like, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think on this movie, it's like it was kind of a spoiler that there's going to be an action scene coming when it goes to 4:3 aspect ratio, and it's like, oh, they're going to save that for something big on it. But
what do you think? Do you feel like it was worth it?
I would enjoy the movie just as much if it was just regular, 16:9 or 2:3:9:1, whatever the aspect ratio they're using on it. But just regular screen. Definitely, what helped it was the sound. Like having really good sound. You can't just watch this movie on like your iPhone. Or something like that. You can't watch any movie on
or in your car
or in
the middle,
in my car,
Uber
in between Uber rides. Bowfinger was good though. It was good. I think Windy City Heat was better, but
I think I mean they're both very funny movies. Yeah. Which we can't talk about. We can. I mean
that's a different
it's a different that would be a different podcast topic. But I mean look, again, it's I would say it's a better than most movie that's out there today.
Yeah.
It's better than I don't even know what
Sinners?
other movies are out there. Sinners is better than what else is out there?
Snow White.
I think Sinners is better than Snow White. You can take that to the bank. Sinners is better than Snow White. Tremain Hayhoe, copyright 2025. Yeah, I mean, it was. I had a good time watching it.
Yeah.
Did it go by way too much? Yes, it did. It was way too long, and it went off the deep end. It went like the last 45 minutes. It went so far off the deep end that it was like, all right. Okay. I'm like, okay, this is where the movie jumps the shark, and it really jumped it. It was just kept going. I'm like, all right, well, all right. If you're gonna do that, then go ahead. But you loved it.
I did. I would recommend it. I'd see it again actually. And I thought the music was probably some of my favorite about the movie. Love that music, kind of blues in the background, and almost like kind of an Eric Clapton like Lethal Weapon theme style.
Oh, which by the way, Lethal Weapon 2.
That's Speaking of Danny Glover.
Speaking of Lethal Weapon, I gotta show you guys that are tuning in here.
You want to get the tape? Or... Oh yeah,
Danny Glover himself, right there. Myself and Danny Glover.
That's awesome.
Does it? Is it gonna fill it? Oh, I don't know. Well, it's myself and Danny Glover.
What was that like? Meeting Danny Glover the other night in Sacramento.
I mean, last night, I met Danny Glover.
Hanging out with Danny Glover, DG.
It was cool. It was cool. It was at this place called something underground. So it's like this. It literally, you go downstairs. It's an underground, like a basement bar. It's kind of a really skinny hallway.
Yeah.
And then they had this fashion show. So they had like a fashion show first. Yeah. And like I got there at 9. It goes till 1. It started at 8, and then it went till like I'm like, okay, when are they gonna mention? They're like, I got a very special guest to introduce you guys here, and then they're like, a very special guest coming up here. He's coming up here. Yeah. His name is Mario Vespucci, the fashion designer, right here. Right here he is. And I'm like, oh. And they're like, okay, now you saw this special guest. I got kind of a surprise for you guys. We got something coming up. This is a big deal. He's been doing this for years. He's a professional. Many of you guys are here for him. Andre something. The other fashion designer. It was
once they mentioned Danny Glover, all those other names.
But okay, so then this is what happened. So all of a sudden there's a guy that walks in, very tall, guy who's wearing a ball cap, and he's got a kind of a gray beard, and he looks like Danny Glover. I'm like, that's Glover. That's Glover right there. But like something about him was like, is that him? Is that not? Is he younger? Is he older? I didn't realize he's that tall. He's tall. Yeah. Turns out it's Danny Glover's brother.
Oh,
Marvin Glover. Oh. Martin or Marvin, something like that. Yeah. Martin or Marvin. So it was his brother. I didn't realize that, but I thought it was Danny Glover, so I kind of took a sneaky picture and I sent it to my friend Sean. I'm like, this is Danny Glover. He's right there. And he was at the bar. But it wasn't Danny Glover, it was the brother. So now I'm thinking, okay, did we get hoodwinked to pay $30? We got paid, you paid $30 to go to this event. Oh. And I'm like, and it has Danny Glover's picture there. Like, oh, Danny Glover's going to be there. But, like, a side note, my friend and I used to do all these side gigs, which were like, what are they called? Promo modeling gigs, or, you go to some concert event and you're handing out flyers or whatever. Oh, yeah. There was a bunch of other promo people. And there was this one wacky lady who's like, oh, yeah, I really love Danny Glover. And we were like, oh, yeah, Glover's going to be here. Glover's going to be here. There's some random concert in LA. Like, yeah, Glover's going to be here. Danny Glover. My friend said that. And then we told each other about that. And then randomly I would go to her and be like, oh, did you hear about Danny Glover? And she's like, yeah, I heard about him. I love him. Anyway, so it didn't feel real that Danny Glover would actually be there. But sure enough, he came on and he spoke for about 7 minutes. He spoke for 7 minutes. He talked about how his mom really loved her mom and how he grew up in a really good family and who loved each other, and his parents loved them. And so that was actually really cool. And he goes, well, I'm a manifestation for all that love. I'm right here, and this is all my success, and all my success is thanks to them. So that was really cool. Yeah. And then afterwards, he went in the back area, and then everyone kind of, gravitated towards him and took photos with him. And that's where I went. We got the lethal weapon. So I
brought it before you knew he was.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be there. Well, I was hoping he would be there. So I'm like,
let me go grab that.
Yeah, go grab it. He's going to grab a prop. I'm Tremain Hayhoe. That is Joe from Lake Falls Studio. We just watched Sinners after the Sactown Movie Buffs Film Festival. It is getting late. I am pretty tired. Maybe I look like I'm really tired, but that's probably because I am. But so I was on this podcast. I was on that podcast. I was on the Have Cheetah Will View podcast talking about Simp. And he goes, oh, you know what? Because I was telling him, like, hey, I'm going to see Danny Glover tonight. He's like, oh, you know what you need to do? He's like, bring him a copy of your DVD, and then he'll watch it or something. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. Because it's like, there's so many artists they probably give him. I'm like, is he going to even watch a DVD? Da, da, da. And then I'm like, oh, no, I have an idea. I have a VHS of Lethal Weapon. I'm pretty sure.
That was a good choice.
Yeah. So I'm like, I couldn't find I think I have Lethal Weapon 1 somewhere, but I could only find Lethal Weapon 2, and I was on a time crunch, so I found it. And anyway, we go to take a picture, and he's like, he's taking a picture normally. And I'm like, hey, Danny, could you sign this for me? I pull this out of nowhere, and he stopped, and he looked at it, he's like, his jaw, like, dropped. He was like, oh, my God. And he sat down. He was so blown away. He sat down, and I brought a Sharpie, too, because you got to bring a Sharpie. Brought a Sharpie, and he signed it for me. That's cool. Yeah, and then he sat down the rest of the night, and people came up to him, sitting next to him. My friend Brandon Larson, you ever meet him? So Brandon and I got this photo from the professional photographer there, and we're like, well, where are those photos going to be? He's like, well, I don't know, they're going to be on the side, da, da, da. And then 2 minutes later, I see Brandon weasel his way back in to get another picture with Danny Glover, but get it on his phone. I'm like, you weasel! Like, why are you trying to do that again? And he's like, well, I never know if they're gonna get the photo or not. I'm like, oh, it's actually not a bad idea. So then I ended up going back. So
that's how you got that picture.
And that's how I got that picture. Yeah. So where I look like I'm a behemoth next to him. But before that, there's a lot of cool photos of me showing him the DVD and him reacting. He got a big smile out of it, and he was nice. Like, oh my God, I'm a big fan. He's like, oh, thank you, brother. Thanks, man. Like,
you mentioned you're a filmmaker.
No, God, no. You don't do that shit. No, you didn't. I mean, but some people did. Like, is he gonna remember that? Oh yeah, I'm an actress. Blah blah blah.
But I've heard in Hollywood, he's just a really nice guy. Out there.
Yeah, so, it's true. Well, you heard from Hollywood. You heard from the horse's mouth himself. Yeah, I mean, he's no saint, but he's no sinner. I like Danny Glover. Thumbs up for Danny Glover. Yeah. I think we talked the movie to death. I'm getting pretty tired. I'm passing out.
That's
pretty much. I know it's past your bedtime, Joe. Your bedtime is starting, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, no, this is pretty cool. I mean, I think Sinners was original until you said From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm like, oh, maybe not.
I can't think of another vampire movie set in that era though, but maybe that's probably because I haven't watched enough vampire movies.
Right,
So,
I'm not a big
it's like-
vampire movie guy either.
No.
In general, I'm just not. I think vampires suck. So that's my. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? That movie was actually really funny. Have you heard of that?
Suck?
Vampires Suck? Have you
No.
seen that one?
No, I haven't seen
Oh, it was the Twilight era. It was a parody of Twilight.
Yeah, I remember those
from the peak Twilight era. It was actually surprisingly funny. It was one of those Redbox movies. I'm like, do I really want to watch this? You know, it could be this really crappy parody movie, or it could be hilarious. And it was really funny. It's super funny. Vampires Suck. They make fun of those era, the teen vampire movies, where they're like, as soon as you start thinking about it, they're like, well, Edward's a vampire. He's been a vampire for 110 years. I'm like, and he's in high school? So he's 110 years old, and he's hitting on a sophomore in high school, and he's, you know what I mean? It's like, Team Edward, why don't you have a seat right over there? You know, why don't you have a seat? Edward, let's look at the chat. I need you to look at the chat. What exactly did you mean by I want to suck on your nipples? She's a sophomore in high school. You're 112 years old, Edward. Did you know this? It's like
I mean, it really, you know, you got Hollywood sometimes feels like it's completely out of ideas. Every 5 years or so, they got to make a movie about dragons. And then they got to make a movie about vampires, and natural disasters, and then just kind of loops. It's like it's that time. Oh, it's a Dragon Time movie.
Yeah, Dragon movie time. Yeah, which they remade How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, that's
which everyone was asking for that, right? You know, yeah, Dragon Heart.
Oh,
that was way back in the day. Sean Connery.
I saw that.
I'll never forget my Mohammed brother and I went to go see that movie at Sunrise Mall back in the day.
I remember
we saw Dragonheart.
That was right next to the Suncoast video. The
yeah,
theater.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah. So what happened was we're watching Dragonheart, and we're like 30 minutes in, and then the projector burned out.
Oh shit!
So it like burnt, the whole image burned out. They're like, "Oh, sorry guys, we can't film it." And I never saw the movie.
Oh, you didn't?
I think they gave us a refund or something, but we never watched it. The rest of it, it was like, oh, once it's done, it's done. Dragonheart. But I love Sean Connery.
Yeah. We gotta go to the 90s and compare which movies we saw in theaters. So it's like, there's got to be a lot of overlap on there because there was. That's the thing is we didn't have YouTube and internet very fast.
And these days, kids these days.
What you did is you go to the movies. There was a big thing of like, you know, seeing a new movie that like people there'd be lines waiting to get in. It was an event.
Which what I will say is that it was pretty packed in the theater.
Yeah.
For Sinners tonight. I mean, it really was.
Yeah.
And people were reacting, and it was kind of fun. Like, oh hell no! Like,
I
was like, oh hell no! Like, don't do that! Don't do that!
There was some good jump scares in it too. Pretty decent.
Did you jump?
I was scared.
No, you didn't jump. You didn't jump. One girl in front of us was like, "Oh shit!" She's like, "Oh shit!"
No, it must be getting some good word of mouth though, and people are saying like, "Oh, you should see the Sinners."
Well, it's a perfect timing. I mean, and there's no one else. There's no other
completely
movie.
Missed that. I didn't get recommended a trailer or anything. If I saw a trailer for that, I think I would have seen it.
But there's no other movie to watch. What is there to watch other than Simp on Tubi TV?
That's right.
Go to Tubi TV.
There's no excuse not to watch Simp.
There really is. It's true.
If you're within age appropriate age.
Yes, an age appropriate age, 17 or plus.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can watch Simp and have a good time. But I feel like Sinners was. Talk about sinners. I mean, I guess they all were sinners.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some pretty raunchy stuff in there. It was kind of borderline. Like, was that really necessary?
Yeah, it's hard to find a hero's journey in that, or who, you know. Well, maybe that's all.
Well, like, who are you rooting for? Who are we rooting
Yeah,
for?
no,
I mean, you root for the two gangster criminal twins?
Yeah, no.
Right? Or do you wait, or do you root for the Irish vampire Ku Klux Klan members?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you know, there's really nobody.
But I'd recommend it. I'd see it again on that.
Okay.
But,
I think maybe when you see it again, you might change your mind a little bit. I don't know. Maybe you'll like, but well shot though. Really cool shots.
Yeah.
Beautiful shots. The location. There was a really cool shot of the highway and the clouds and the fields, the cotton fields.
And I didn't think they did that over. I mean, like over the top of like. You know, I would say like it kind of felt like Coen Brothers. Oh, brother, where art thou?
It did. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good way of putting it.
Confined, like not over the top universe of that era, but just enough to like paint a picture that it's, you know, and then they kind of changed the script with like guy playing electric guitar.
Right, which
they never explained that.
They didn't say that at all. Just out of nowhere, there's a girl twerking.
Yeah, unless
the guy playing electric guitar.
They had a connection with the future version.
And there's a guy. There's a guy wearing the $sign necklace.
Yeah.
In sunglasses. Yeah, it made no sense. I feel like if they lived in that world, if there was a bit more of a hint of why they're there, maybe they heard there's vampires, there would have been talk amongst the town of freaking ravaging white Irish vampires. You know what I mean? Like there would be, they would have had some type of rumors happening there. They completely missed out on that. It was just like there are newcomers there, and all of a sudden they have a party, and then Irish vampires come in and take over.
But very well edited. Good.
Like, what do you think about it, dude? That movie sucks. That movie sucks. No, it didn't suck. It was entertaining enough to watch.
It's gonna do well.
It already did well.
It already did well.
So thank you so much for joining me, Joe. Where can we find you?
Lake
Falls Studio. All right. Go to lakefallstudio.com. Just kidding. YouTube.com/lakefallstudio. Check out his stuff. And watch Simp. Right?
Cool.
You can watch behind the scenes on YouTube channel, Hayhoe Studios, and subscribe. Thank you guys. And good night. Thank you. Like that like button. Hit that like button.